Welcome back to Bob's Magic Emporium with the next video on the 365-day magic challenge. Alright, I got a trick today. It's a teacher trick I call this one Predict a Sugar Packet. Let me do the trick, then I'll explain how it works. So I have a little box here with a lock on it. See, it's got a little lock on it right there. That way I can't tamper with my prediction that I put inside the box. And here's the key. I'm going to put the key over there. That way I have to physically reach over to grab the key. And I have some sugar packets here. I have 2 Sweet and Lows. They're pink. 1 regular, just crystal sugar packet. It's white. 2 Equals. And 1 Splenda. Now, they're all different colors, but they all have X's on them. Here's what's going to happen. If the spectator was here, they would be able to shake these up. But you're going to take them up in your hands, give them a shake, toss them on the table. Whatever ones land face down, so the X's are face down, those are going to be out of play. The X's that are still face up are going to be in play. We'll keep shaking until we get 1 sugar packet with an X on it. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to shake these up. I'm going to give them a little shake, and I will toss them on the table. And, oh my goodness, alright. So these 4, the 2 Sweet and Lows, 1 Equal, and the crystals are out of play. So now we're left with 1 Equal and 1 Splenda. Alright, let's give this a shake. And we'll toss it. And both of them landed with the X's up, so we'll shake it again. And the Equal is now out of play, so we're left with the yellow Splenda packet. Alright, so I'm going to reach over here, I'm going to grab the key. And I'll do this in full view so you can see I'm not doing anything funny, I don't have anything else in my hands. Just have the key. And there's the lock, I'm going to unlock the lock. I'm going to open the box. Just like this, nothing else in my hands, I want you to see that. And I open it up, and there is a piece of paper inside of there. I take the piece of paper out. Nothing else in my hands, just the 1 piece of paper, and it says Yellow Splenda. There we go. Yellow Splenda. My prediction was right. I'll show it again. That was actually, you couldn't really see that. Yellow Splenda. There we go. Okay. So this is a very simple trick, and it fools people. And you can pull this out at a restaurant. You're going to need a few things for this trick. You don't need a box. That's just there for dramatic purposes. I mean, you could use... you could fold up your prediction. You could have somebody hang on to it. You could, have it just sitting on the table. Whatever. I just did the box for a more dramatic kind of thing. So you have a little bit more dramatics there. But you're going to need some kind of prediction. You could write it if you're at a restaurant with paper napkins. You could write your prediction on a paper napkin. But you could just get a piece of paper, and write it on there. Normally, what I do is I stick this in my pocket, my prediction. And that way it's ready to go with me when I walk into the restaurant. And you also need a bunch of sugar packets. Now, a lot of restaurants have these on the table, so that's why this trick's good at a restaurant. And you also need some kind of marking implement. A marker works the best. Not a Sharpie. I'm sorry, a Sharpie or a magic marker, not a pen. Because when you draw your X's on it, when you start to draw the X, it might poke a hole through, like it did with this guy right here. See, I got a little hole right there that I accidentally poked in there. So, there would have been another crystal packet, but it has a hole in it. But anyway, so you want to use like a Sharpie or something like that. And you're ready to go. So what you do is, when you get to the restaurant, you sit down at the table and you have your Sharpie with you, you put an X on the... I like to do it on the front side. Not on the back with all the ingredients, but on the front side where it has the name. I just think the X's look better on there. You could put it on the back, have them all on the back, but you want to have your X's all on the same side. So if you start with your first one, if you mark it on the front side where the logo is, on all the other ones, put it on the front side, not the side with the ingredients. So like with Equal, don't put it on the back side. With this kind of Dixie crystals, though, you've got one you got one side that says pure sugar, and the other side kind of has distributed by Diamond Crystal Brands. Don't put it on the distributed side. This would be the logo side where it says pure sugar. So you want to mark all these on the front side, and then whatever your force sugar packet's going to be, you're going to put another X on it. Now, let me show you. My fourth sugar packet was the yellow Splenda. So what you do, you put an X on the front side, and you put an X on the back too. Just like that. You put an X on the back. Now this way, when you go to shake them up and you toss them on the table, no one's going to be the wiser. No one will be the wiser. Alright, so you give it a little toss, you give it a shake, no one's going to be the wiser. And what you've done here is no matter how many times you shake this yellow Splenda sugar packet, it will always land with an X facing up because there's an X on both sides, obviously. Unbeknownst to your audience. Now, at the beginning of the trick, you notice that I didn't show both sides of the sugar packet. You don't want to do that. You don't want to show both sides for obvious reasons, because when you get to this one, you could show this back side and show there's nothing on it. When you get to this one, you can show, and you'll see that there's an X on both sides. Now, there's two ways to get around this. One, don't show any of the sugar packets. Just say there's an X on the sugar packet. What I like to do, though, is if you're going to have an audience that's going to give you a lot of grief, so they want to examine everything, I have a duplicate Splenda packet in my pocket with an X on just the one side. So at the start of the trick, I will pull these out of my pocket, if I have these preset or whatever, or, I'll maybe have the duplicate Splenda packet, the one with two X's on, or the two X's on each, an X on each side, sitting under a napkin or something. So I have these all set with the, let's say this one doesn't have an X on the back side. So they can examine them all and see that they'll have X's on just one side. And then what I'll do is casually, pick up the yellow one, casually just talk about we're going to play this little game, and kind of casually switch it out. Or if you're not very good at switching out right in front of people, I just casually drop this in my pocket. But don't call attention to it. Just casually do it like, hey, we're going to play this little game. I've made a prediction. It's sitting right here. And the best thing to do is do misdirection if you want to switch out this sugar packet. If you're going to do it where you start off clean and end clean. So what I do is, let's say the prediction's sitting on the table, I'll say, okay, so we're going to play this little game with these sugar packets, and I also have this prediction. I pick this up and I talk about the sugar packets, and then this will be in my hand, kind of concealed like this. So then I'll say, but I have this prediction. I will gesture towards the prediction like this with both hands, making them look at it. And then nonchalantly, I'll drop the hand with the sugar packet down by my side so I can stick the sugar packet with one X on the X on one side and no X on the other side, and I'll swap it out for my gimmicked sugar packet. You don't have to do that. Like I said, if you want, all you can do is just have all of the X's face up like this. Say I have X's on all these. We're gonna play a little game, shake them up, mix them up. But that way, but having one non-gimmicked one that's matches your force one. I think if you're going to have an audience that's really going to heckle you and want to check out everything before the trick because they might think something's up, you could have that duplicate sugar packet with just the one X on the one side. That way, they could say, oh, I examined it before, so, how did that turn out to be? But anyways, so you also want to make sure your prediction's written down. Whatever one you want to make the force one. I use Splenda. You could definitely use Sweet and Low if you wanted or whatever. It's up to you. Doesn't matter. But anyways, you have this, like I say. So then you just play it up. This is all about acting, this trick is. Because you want to play it up and say, okay, now toss these on the table. And you want to make it sound as random as possible. Like, you don't even know what you're going to do in this trick. So you want to kind of say stuff like, oh, well, okay, why don't you shake them up and let's just say whatever ones don't have the X showing, we'll move those out of play. So you want to make it sound like I'm just doing some random thing here. Like this is not a trick. We're just kind of impromptu, I don't know what's going to happen kind of deal. So, and then you have them shake them up. Now, you don't do the shaking. Let them take the packets. Let them shake the packets up. But you want to also have good audience management at that point, too, because you don't want them taking the packets and looking through them a second time because, then they'll see the gaffed one. So have good audience management there. So you want to give these a little shake, and then they're going to toss them on the table, and whenever ones land face down, this one does, that's out of play. So you keep shaking. This can take a while because I've had it sometimes where I've done this trick, and none of them will land face down for like 5 tosses. So you just got to be patient with it. All right, that's out of play, that's out of play, that's out of play, and, okay, That's not, we'll just say that's out of play too. Okay, so now you're left with this one. And you know it's going to be that one, so play it up. Say, okay, oh wow, we got the Splenda packet left. Okay, so now let's go to my prediction. Now what I like to do is I don't like to do anything in the trick. Once I start the trick, if you do end up doing the swap out option where you have the non-gimmicked one, you swap it for the gimmicked one, and you bring that in play. Once I bring that gimmicked one in play, I step back away from like where the area where the trick's going on. And I don't even touch the prediction. I don't open it. I let the spectator do that. That way, like, my hands will be behind my back. I'll just sit there at the table, and my hands will be at my side or whatever, and I'll just tell them what to do. I'll say, okay, take them up in your hands, shake them up, toss them, and that way they can open the prediction and they don't think I'm doing something funny with the prediction. Like, they might think, oh, you're just swapping it out. Maybe you have all of them in your hands, and whatever one landed, you just swapped it out for that one. So I just let them do all of the work in this trick, and which is great because you can sit back and kind of just watch them and guide them on how to do the trick. So it's a great little trick, and you could actually do this as a bar bet too if you wanted. You could say, hey, I bet you $10 that I'm going to correctly predict which one of these lands face up. You could do that, but again, you would have to, if you did it as a bar bet, you would have to have the non-gimmicked one and swap it out. But if you're doing this just as like a kind of a restaurant trick to fool your friends, I wouldn't worry about having a non-gimmicked one. But you can do the swap, like I said, if you want. So that's the Predict the Sugar packet. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.